Hello, guys, and welcome to another Night with Phee on the Phee Smee Network. We've had all kinds of technical problems. As you can see, we are 6 minutes late, and I can tell you it was a rough house world for the old Phee to try to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But with the help of Manly Mark, I hope that we are back in the saddle again. Well, we've had a wonderful day. It's rained here, and it's really cooled off the last 2 days. So it's hadn't been outside a lot, trying to work and enjoy life right here at the Phee Smee Network. Mostly that means news at this time. So bottom line is, glad to be back tonight on Night, having a great time with it. Y'all tell everybody about it. Seems to be catching on, so I'm happy about that. So I do appreciate you guys tuning in. We had a great show last night, but tonight we're going to talk about Checkmate. Checkmate. I always like to play chess from a strategic standpoint. Enjoyed checkers a lot too. My grandmother and I played checkers a lot when I was younger. So I always liked board games and card games, those type of things. But Checkmate, it's normally 2 or 3 moves ahead of the opponent, and they normally don't see it coming before it's too late. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight in the game of life. We don't want to get into a situation where we are in checkmate. So not at the Phee Smee Network, right here every night, Monday through Friday. We're going to enjoy life, and I keep telling folks what's going on. So you can see that chess is one of those games where I remember Bobby Fischer in the 70s. He was quite a chess player, and the Soviet Union always had several great chess players. But it was always interesting to me in football, from a strategic standpoint, what they were trying to do and how they were trying to get folks to go this way while the ball would go this way. And it's all strategic. Whether it's a board game or whether it's on the basketball court or the baseball field or the football field. I guarantee you ice hockey's got to be strategic. What they do on that ice, on skates, handling, I mean, what kind of dadgum stick control do they have? I mean, that's an unbelievable sport. Never seen it, never played it, but it's got to be phenomenal. Never will play it now. Be lucky to be ice skating at Christmas. At Central Park. That would be a neat thing. I think my daughter went last year. But anyway, checkmate, you find that they used to have chess clubs, and before they were big in the parks, they were normally an elitist club. You didn't find a lot of people that played chess. They played a lot of things. If you throw them a ball, they could play, but they didn't play chess. And some people that really enjoy card games like bridge is a game that in the South is a big game back in the 70s and 80s for women and men to play. And you used to find that a lot, that they would have women's clubs or men's clubs where they would play cards. So I'm always interested in the culture, how things have changed. Now they're all on their phones or playing video games or doing the virtual reality headsets. But each culture, you can tell the change and the shift along the way if you live long enough. And he just keeps on rocking and rolling, and continue to all the way through what we're saying is going to happen. So excited about that. But boy, I tell you what, you don't want to be in a situation where you get deceived. And you don't want to get in a situation where you get fooled. And you can always tell if a defender gets fooled, a cornerback or a safety, or if a linebacker comes up on the wrong side. I mean, you can always tell that when they show the replay how they were deceived. And life's a game. And what you're getting into now is you got to learn how to play. And we're going to coach. And so we're going to have strategies. And that's the key, and just not make-believe things, but real preparation. So we don't want to get in a situation where we're getting in checkmate. So that's tonight's topic. I know I was a little late, but I do appreciate you guys sticking around. You can always check us at the Phee Smee Network. We had a great show at Phee Smee show with Manly Mark this morning, and then Manly Mark, he did a phenomenal show again, just day after day after day at Midday Madness with Manly Mark. So we'll get right into these questions, and here we go. Phee, what do you believe are the 3 worst things about our diet? Kyla from Arkansas. Well, there's a whole lot wrong with our diet, so I don't want to have to limit it to 3. But if I had to say 3, I would say number 1, it would be what you cook your food in. What they've told you is vegetable oil or healthy is that if you're cooking, then you're cooking in poison. So that's even the birds in the sky won't eat canola seeds. So that's where they tell you where we are on the food chain. They're gonna change that. They've already got a rapeseed oil that they're gonna go to next, which is just check it out and see you'll see another names for things. But I'd have to say what you cook your food in. It would be canola oil. Number 2, I'd say high fructose corn syrup. It's in everything. Soft drinks, artificial softeners, all kinds of different fruits that are canned. Anything that's it's a synthetic, terrible for your kidney, terrible for your thyroid, terrible for your liver, and just crushing America's diet with what you're cooking your food in and what they're putting in your food that you buy. Those are just 2 ingredients that are crushing. They just change those 2, and they'll change them to different names, and they're 25 years late, and then they'll say, we're sorry that we know that pyramid wasn't accurate. Those nutritionists didn't know. And that's what they'll say about regenerative medicine. That's what they'll say about robotics. That's what they'll say about AI until it's already here. And then that's why we're here playing chess. So high fructose corn syrup and canola oil would be 1 and 2. Number 3, I would tell you that artificial sweeteners, anything that's artificial sweetener, you put it in your coffee with your any kind of sweet tea. It's an epidemic of artificial sweetening. It doesn't matter what kind it is, all natural sweetened, all honeydew sweetened. That's fine. Just make sure it's processed correctly, because you just don't know anymore. A lot of things that are classified healthy foods are just not very healthy, and a lot of times they advertise things that by the time it gets to you and sets on that shelf life, you don't get the benefits, and that's the truth. So I'm not telling things that people don't already know. It's just, what are they going to do about it? So that would be artificial flavoring would be number 3. So anytime you get coffee, squirt, there's your peppermint spice, or your pumpkin spice, or your white chocolate. It's just artificial, and it tastes so good. It just tastes good. So they're crushing you with it, just absolutely crushing you. And sooner or later they'll tell you, and they'll go to something else. But the chemicals that they're putting on your food, in your food, the artificial coloring you're getting from your plants, the hormones that they're injecting into your meat, it's difficult to, you don't want to be paranoid about it. There's no reason to be paranoid about it. You just have to adapt. And so the people who have the money, well, they go buy their cow, or they know where it's at, or they go buy their pig, or they go slaughter some goats. But the folks in the city, the folks that there's going to be a lot of people around, they have to prepare a different way. And you've got to get them in some hydroponics, and instead of them trying to plant flowers, they're planting vegetables. And you've got to be able to get protein other ways. So it's a difficult situation, but in the end, we're talking about the three worst things, and I can go on for an hour about what you should and shouldn't do. But the bottom line is, very few of you will continue to do it long term once other things shift. So what you got to do is just set just a couple of boundaries. You can't do anything about it every time you buy an apple where you're worried about the pesticides and the chemicals in it, or you don't buy an apple. So what are the benefits to fruits and herbs and medicine? It's all in the land. It is the healing power of what you have. But now they market that so many different ways. So it's a money grab, and it's very deceptive when it comes to what's natural, what's good for you, what's synthetic, and if you don't spend a lot of time on it, it can get overwhelming. So I just say I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna drink a soft drink, although I like soft drinks because of high fructose corn syrup. I'm not gonna eat any canned vegetables or canned fruits. I'm not gonna eat tomatoes and almonds. I just continue to say, okay, I'm gonna drink water. I'm gonna drink coffee. I'm gonna drink green tea, and I'm gonna put honey in everything I do, and I'm gonna have half and half. So very plain, very, as they would say, vanilla. But because you just have to almost eliminate everything. Even if I want some cheese and some saltine crackers, the saltine crackers have so much sugar in them that it's just I don't worry about sugar because I don't eat a lot of sugar. So if I want a sleeve of crackers with some cheese, I'll eat it. But I just think every time I eat, I'm like, okay, well, what do you want, some bagels? Well, I'm not getting bagels and cheese. I wanted crackers and cheese. So that's what I wanted. So anyway, also they're going to lab grown meat, man. They're going to lab grown meat. They're trying to put our farmers out of business. We're just going to have to calm down and take a deep breath and say, what can we do to make sure that we can eat and get some clean water? And those are the type of things in rural areas they can do immediately. But in cities and towns and in big cities, you've got problem anywhere with a good diet. You're not going to find a lot of good diets out there. So if you get in a situation where you have to eat pretty much anything you have to eat, then you're still going to need nutrients, especially if you're sick. So you've got to stay away from almost anything. I eat a lot of fruit. You got to eat a lot of fruit. But I'm a believer in a very good diet with greens, fresh, carrots fresh. If you can get the more fresh fruit, the more fresh vegetables you can get, the better herbs you can get. You're along. That's fantastic. But as far as bad things, canola oil, high fructose corn syrup, and artificial flavoring is by far the worst thing that's out there, because you just cook your food in it, and the other thing is just in every single thing, and then your artificial flavoring's just bam. It's just again, it's easier. They don't give you honey anymore in a lot of restaurants. They give you artificial honey. It's hard to do. Shortage of bees. They've been telling you that for 20 years. So anyway, those are the three words, Kyla from Arkansas, and I thank you for the call. Me and that green tea, we just don't get along. Anyway, Kyla, thank you so much, and for that question. We'll jump right into the next question. Phee, what do you think about the UN September 23rd through the 26th, 2025 Treat Summit? My pastor said we would be raptured out before this one world government started. What is your opinion? Dory from Nebraska. I've been telling people about the United Nations meeting in September for a long time now. And so what you need to be concerned with at that meeting is what happens the day before that's not on the agenda or that's open in open forum. They'll be showing, you can watch it live. They always show them live. Nobody ever watches them, but I'll be watching them. So anyway, what happens on the 22nd of September, I would tell you, is just as important as those meetings, the 23rd through the 26th. You and we already know what they're going to do there. They're going to have a certain amount of people in their pocket, so to speak, that already voted, already have agreed to, and they will then make a motion and they will present, and that stuff will happen, and it will be all kinds of different things, and they'll try to, just as one of the agenda points, they'll throw out this, and at that point, that's your two-state solution that Palestine has to be recognized as a state. That's what they're going to propose at that meeting. They're not going to sign it at that meeting. That would be voted on in October of the following month. So they will present it, and then October they will actually vote on it. So it will be interesting how that process unfolds. I just don't. I don't believe that by the time I know they're going to vote, and I know they're going to try to approve it, and I know then they're going to vote and say yes, but are they going to get to at that point, are they going to get to the actual signing and then implementing? Because that is, there's when you can start getting pretty close on as far as timelines. If I just don't believe that's going to happen. I believe what will happen is that you'll have a certain group or countries that have problems, or there will be something that will arise before that agreement is signed, and that I believe is the World War III. So I hope that's a year, 2 years from now. But as again, we have to prepare in order to implement our plans. So, and we've got game plans that we've got to implement. But anyway, you're going to have all the European Union and everybody will in that area, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Mexico, they will all be on that side of the two-state solution at that meeting, and then they'll vote on it in October, and I would guarantee you it would pass if they vote on it in October. We'll see if it ever is implemented, and if it is, then let's see what it says. Let's outline what the actual agreement is. That's very important. So they can sign 100 of them, but if it doesn't have the biblical characteristics, then it's not the one, and we can keep on keeping on. But very, very, I think the September 23rd, 26th meeting and the United Nations and the treaty summits, it's all about the World Economic Forum. It's all about the sustainable goals of 2030. I've been telling people about it for 2.5 years. It's all happening. It's all scriptures. It's all the Word of God. So, it's going to happen. There's no question that in the end, that National Guard just going to continue to move across. And for the very best of times for us is they are there when the civil unrest takes place. So there's a situation that I hope happens along after that United Nations meeting, and we'll see if they actually sign an agreement. But we'll be on top of that as the coming weeks in September, and we'll be on top of it after until October or until something else takes our mind off that. So to me, that's a pivotal point in what we're trying to prove here at the Phee Smee Network, and more importantly, get people believe enough in that first step of faith to say, okay, we need to actually prepare and let's get started. So that's the goal. All right. Your pastor said that you would be raptured out before this one world government started. What is your opinion, Dorian, Nebraska? Just because, Dory, that your pastor said that you're going to be raptured out before this summit, I don't think that's what you meant. but before this peace plan, then that's not unusual for your pastors to say that. That's what they've been taught. I think the closer those things get as this third temple is built, they're going to have to answer, and then they're going to have to start realizing as these world events happen, and the Euphrates River, of course, is it's got to dry up, and it's never dried up in the history. So you've got a lot of things that have to happen, but they're playing chess, and they're way ahead, way ahead, and we're going to do the best we can to try to talk to people and have some really. We want connections. We want people to come together for one of the best and the greatest evangelistic movements in the history of the world. That's what we want. Now that I don't know if we'll get that. Normally you'll get resistance, but at some point they're going to have to ask themselves, when are we supposed to be getting out of here? So and also at that point, you would hope that you would have more folks that would be willing to at least explore other options. So that's all we're trying to get them to do is explore other options. So your pastor has probably been taught a pre-tribulation rapture, as my church and what I was raised with did, and so it's certainly not his fault as far as the doctrine is concerned. So I don't know how well you know him, or if you can talk to him. And you can tell him to, just explore the other options. It's not a salvation issue. There's nobody questioning his walk with the Lord or whether he's a child of God. What we are saying is, if you're wrong, then let's prepare your flock. And these are the reasons, and these are the things that are happening. So let's go ahead and just in case that you're not here, how about we work together? I think that's fair, but anyway, my opinion, Dory, is you'll be here through the tribulation. You'll be raptured right before the Battle of Armageddon, and that we will have real problems in the United States like we've never seen, and we've never fought a war, and we're going to have civil unrest, and we're going to have all kinds of chaos. So that's where your National Guard comes in. That's why they're so important, and it's what I've been telling people for 2 years. What I'm going to continue to tell people. So, very important for us to pay those folks, the police and the first responders. So that's what I would tell your pastor. I certainly wouldn't. It's not I wouldn't fight him. At the same time, I do believe that you need to open your eyes. If you had an opportunity to tell people, look, the road is out, the bridge is out. If you keep driving on that road, that you're going to crash and into the river and die, or you have the opportunity not to tell them. So I'm going to tell them, and hopefully they won't just be so stubborn they just continue to drive off into the waters. So and that certainly doesn't mean they're going to hell. The children of God in all denominations, by all means, but you got to prepare by the Word of God. Not by something that was 150 or 200 years old. That's that's not what you go by. So if you can start there and say, look, I want the opportunity to just explore. What if it's not a pre-tribulation? What if it is a post-tribulation? What would that be? What would that look like? But yeah, the two states peace agreement will be discussed on the 22nd behind closed doors, and then what they do at the in that 23rd through the 26th will be very orchestrated, just like those pictures were at the White House, just like those pictures were in Alaska. Those are optic moments and photo sets for those things. So. And they're very good, and everybody's got to have them. It is a presentation. Nothing wrong with any of it, and plus it's honoring people at their country and their culture. So you certainly don't want to offend anybody or anybody's culture. I certainly don't. I just don't know enough about certain cultures that I might offend them just by not bowing or something like that. But I would learn. I would certainly, go through some reps if I thought I was going to meet someone from a different country that had some type of different culture or greeting. So, anyway, remember the United Nations is what I've been talking about. They are from my very first podcast. They are the one world government. They're setting up everything exactly like the Word of God said. This is it's all around you. You can see it everywhere if you just take the blinders off and just say, okay, really, what's happening? In all different countries, it's lining up for a one world government. And how do you control the world? And that you control the food supply and the water supply, the money supply. Once you go to how many carbon emissions that you can use this month, they're going to give you a lot of stuff. And I'm going to tell you probably 3.5 years of starting and then peaking and then stopping again to get you prepared for having nothing and being happy. They've got a transition period. They've got to get the public and the world ready for this change or this shift. And so and they've been doing this for many, many years. But as you know, every game has a beginning and an end. And we just happen to be playing in the end. So you're predicting time. I hope the end's, what are you talking about, 30 years? I don't care. They want to say 70 years. I don't think Phee will be here. I'm telling you right now what I saw. And I'm telling you right now there's a reason my Lord I'm alive. And I'm telling you right now that the reason I'm alive and the reason I'm coaching you and the reason I had this vision is because it's coming true. And it's so biblical, it's right to the Word of God. And it's going to continue to do so. So it is a one world government, a one world religion. It is the Holy Roman Empire that's now revived. It's all in the European area, the European Union, all the commerce. It's a real money play. So you're dealing with a whole lot of folks that own a whole lot of things and everywhere, and that World Bank's somebody's got to control it. They're not going to let AI control it. They're going to let AI control everything else, but AI won't be controlling that. There's got to be people where they print the money in the basements that nobody sees, and it is going to be advantageous to people to take that mark. Advantageous. They're going to give them a lot of things, a lot of freedoms, a lot of good things, a lot of healthy things. But then they control you in everything you do. We're just not going to get there in the United States. All over the United States, we're not going to fall, and I know this. So you'll be proud to be an American and proud to be happy. But we got to really, really pull together with these folks and pull together with each other, because first of all, they're counting on people turning against people. They're counting on that, and so what we've got to count on is having a plan and having people that we can know and we can trust, and in small clusters and groups throughout the country. And if you can do those type things and prepare from your road structures, or those are things that we've got to prepare for. But this one world government, this one world religion, it's coming. It's spoke of. This temple's got to be built. I just believe World War III is coming first, and that's what I saw. I didn't see a two-state solution, but it's biblical and it could happen before, and then that just tells you a different timeline as far as the what all's got to happen in that time period. And Again, if they sign a peace agreement and they give the Palestinians, Gaza, and they don't allow Jewish settlers to sit there, that's not the peace plan. If they don't have a shared Temple Mount, that's not the peace plan. They've already got the red heifer and already done that, and they've got the plans and the construction signs up for the third temple. So we'll see if that happens. And I don't have any idea of the time or anything else, but I know it will happen because that Antichrist is going to stand in it. I do appreciate you, Dory from Nebraska. The question was, Phee, what do you think about the UN's September 23rd through 26, 2025 Treaty Summit? My pastor said we would be raptured out before this one world government started. What is your opinion, Dory, Nebraska? I think the one world government has already been started. I think it's coming to out bubbling to where you're starting to see what they're trying to accomplish, where you won't be deceived, that you won't already be in it before you realize it's too late. That's the key. Then that's what we're doing, and that's what we're going to continue to do. But that's as far as you being raptured out, I think I wouldn't count down the days, and I would tell you that my Lord is not coming back tonight, that there's several things that he's going to fulfill every one of these prophecies in the Bible, and so he's not coming back until they are fulfilled. When he does, I can assure you he's not coming with a little lamb on him. So that's the way I would answer that question, Dory from Nebraska. Phee, I am a transgender. I go to church and I'm a Christian. How do you feel about this? Blanton in Louisiana. Blanton, I don't think that your sin is any greater than my sin, or my sin is any greater than your sin. We all have sin in our lives. It says that we've all fallen short of the glory of God. So what I would tell you is, if you've already had surgery and are a transgender, that there's no going back from that. So I would like to know how you're, from a hormonal issue, a long term, how that would affect your body. I'd also like to be able to see if you're regulating or synthetic testosterone being used, or are you producing, and what types of things do they do in the body. So from an emotional standpoint, are you happier? And if that's the case, since you've already had the surgery, then I believe that you have to try to be happy as far as that's concerned. But once you've had that surgery, there's not a lot of folks that are going to be able to talk you out about going back. So what I would tell you to do is love the Lord, and His blood is certainly good enough to cover everybody, past, present, and future sins, and just repent. But glad you're in church. I don't know what type of church. There's all kinds of churches. So people when they say they go to church or they're a Christian, that's a real broad term, because there's about 2/3, almost 70% of those folks out there that yes, they're a Christian. Yes, they go to church. So I would ask the pastors in the churches to see what their attendance or their role is, and compared to their attendance, and see if it's that high. But they're starting evangelistic movements now that are moving through our country, and that will be in opposition to the paid protesters and the folks that are the freedom of religion only goes one way, and we got a lot of freedoms here, and they're going to start taking some of those away in order to try to protect us. And whether that's deception, pre-planned, or whether it's reality, I've seen it, and it happens. We win. So let's prepare. It's the rest of the world, folks. It's a lot worse. So I can tell you that it's a lot of death and destruction when those four angels are loosed from the Euphrates. But no, I'm glad you go to church if it's the right church. I'm glad you're a Christian if you accepted my Lord Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. I'm thankful for that, and hopefully that you've been baptized in the water and the Spirit. So I'm thankful for that. But we'll stop it at that as far as your culture, your environment, the trauma of the child, of the public schools, the daycares, the blended families. It's a shame for children to be so unhappy. So, what they sell you on is whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you happy. And a lot of times what trying to make people happy normally makes them unhappy, because that's really not what they're all about or what they really and truly want. They find that once they achieve that there's still something missing. And whether that's the promotion from the 22-year-old out of college, from assistant manager to manager, or whether it's the guy that's closing a $350 billion deal on Wall Street, it's still that same process and procedures that you look for, and that doesn't go away. So I would tell you that we just need to love one another the best we can, and then realize, like my father said, they were a doormat for the public. You bought something at their place, they asked to be gift wrapped, they gift wrapped it. I made the bows, and with the bow machine, they wrapped it. They were really, they taught me customer service. They were really thankful for those customers. My father and mother, they came from real hard times and struggles during the Great Depression in Arkansas, so you can imagine. But anyway, they really, really care for their customers. How much time they would spend meticulously in the show up in the windows with the mannequins and the backgrounds, and they just really took a lot of pride in what that was. That was their shop. It was Jane Smith Dress Shop. That it meant something to them, and that's what I was raised seeing as a young man in business, and so I've always adopted that. But my father would always say, 98% of the people that walk through this door, you can make happy. And the other two, you just have to tell them, it's okay. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Knowing they're never coming back, knowing you didn't make them happy, just be as sweet as you can and try to move them right on out the door as fast as you can, because that relationship is no longer beneficial to both parties. And so my father taught me, and he was very tough on tough love, but he spent a lot of time with me. He expected me to do it right, and Phee, when it came to a lot of things, most things, Phee just doesn't get it right. When pick up the hammer and the wrench, I can do, but don't be trying to give me any of these. Go at the 3/18 socket. They all know where that is. I got to go try to figure it out. Not interested in it, but that's the difference in Phee. But my father, it wasn't for a lack of trying. I always had the excuse I was left-handed and weak-minded. Is what I would tell him. Anytime I didn't want to do anything, I'd say, "Well, I'm left-handed and weak-minded, so I don't swing a lot of axes. Why don't I swing axes?" Well, if I succeed, I split the wood. If I miss, I cut off my foot. Yeah. What am I doing chopping wood? So I didn't grow up chopping wood. Let's give me a basketball or a baseball or, now a golf club, and I'll be happy to play. But anyway, that's the answer to the question. Is you're a transgender, Blanton in Louisiana, and I wish you the best. And there's all of us have sin, whether it's alcohol or drugs addiction or porn, or overeating or idolatry or all kinds of things you can put first, and we're all guilty of in that broad spectrum. Some, maybe a few, maybe a lot, but we're all on that spectrum. So your sin is no greater than mine. But I do believe that I take a strong stance against transgender, and I don't believe in the mutilating of young children and poisoning of their mind. And so that's my answer to that, Blanton. And I do appreciate your question. Next question, Phee. What is the biggest threat to the U.S. during these last years? Violet from Missouri. Violet, that is a good question that we probably need to look at from a macro and a micro standpoint. And so, first of all, what would be my greatest threat to the U.S. in these last years? I would tell you that I know that it is the electrical grid. It is definitely the grid, and if you get the grid down, then there's a problem that will cause chaos, because when that electricity goes down, then there's only so many people with generators, and then there's so much fuel or natural gas with those, or solar would be what people would go to in some areas. But that grid, it's a domino effect. It starts there, and I had an opportunity to talk with a gentleman that had been in actually a plant for over 35 years, and as far as the actually getting online and getting offline and that grid, we're about as good as we can possibly be in the central portions of the United States. But when you start getting out in the Northeast, and start getting out all in the West Coast, you're dealing with some serious issues with the grid that people don't talk about. So my number one threat would be the grid. If they can shut down, next one would be if they can shut your cars down, or the stoplights. If those cyber attacks hit with the grid, then you don't have access to money, you don't have access to television, you don't have access to your phone, you don't have access to all you'd see is network down. And then you're looking at how much food you got in the fridge and how much is going to spoil and how much water you got, and is the faucet going to run, and you don't want to be in that situation, because you've never been in that situation and you've never repped that situation. And that's why we go through training camp, and that's what we're going to do at the Phee Smee Network. We're just going to go through a training camp of getting prepared just in case that happens. And if it doesn't happen, then we've had some educational videos and you've learned something. But if it does happen, then, and I'm telling you it's going to happen, then we'll be prepared. And that's what we're. So that's my threat. Number one, they're not going to send. They're not going to send a. They're going to try to out military us. They're going to try to get us from within. I've told people that since I had that vision. So over 2 years, it's a civil unrest. You're going to have, when you don't have water, you don't have grocery stores or money or bank, for just one day, you're going to have problems. But 3 days, then you got serious issues, and then you got 3 weeks. Now you got basically a FEMA situation, a hurricane situation, an LA situation, a tornado situation. You've seen them all over, just isolated in one area. But now they're isolated in 150 different areas. So you can't communicate on that phone. And your cars, are they new? And your gas stations, are those pumps they new? So those are issues that we just have to think about. We're just going to rep them. And but the biggest threat definitely is the grid. That would definitely be number one. And then you got to remember your food and your medicine, your food supply and your medicine supply. That will be after 3 days, 4 days. Then you got people nervous, worried. Then you got folks from all sides, good people fighting good people because they don't know who they can trust and they're not risking their daughter or their wife with it. I mean, that's important. Why I know we're getting the National Guard all throughout the country now. We're preparing now. These folks don't know it, but I don't even know President Trump knows it. But what he's doing, for one reason, is going to help us for where we need it most. There's your Phee Smee's insight of the day, Mrs. and Mr. and Miss Fee Bird. But anyway, that's a money. If nothing's open, what are you going to do with it? So you got looters. You got people taking what they want to take, especially in these big cities. And then you got folks that are they're going to get together. They're organized, much more so than we are. They're organized, and so I know that, and that's going to be difficult. But if they take the grid, so you say, well, Fee, how can they take the grid? Well, if you've ever seen a movie called Ocean's 11, it had Brad Pitt, it had George Clooney, it had Matt Damon, several very good actors, and Julia Roberts, and so very good movie. But at one point, you'll see a black actor that's they have stolen something from a university, and he's going to go out and he's going to push a button, and this electromagnetic field is going to shut off all the other electrical magnetic fields in the area for a total, complete blackout, for them to then, of course, go and rob the casino, the vault, or the safe. But anyway, I'd call it a vault, but they call it a big old safe. Anyway, great movie if you hadn't seen it. But that is what they would call an EMP. Would be what you would see. No, there would be nobody blowing up things. There wouldn't be any loss of life. What you would just have is complete shutdown of all the computer systems in about 6 or 8 areas in the United States grid system, and it would then go completely off. And that is your biggest threat. So if they can get that done through our government and through our intelligence folks and through our military with President Trump, which was anointed for this, and our military believe in him, then we have to prepare for that. But I'm hoping that doesn't happen anytime soon, because there's your biggest threat that's 18 months to 2 years before I'm actually being able to build the infrastructure back to where people would be connected again. I'm not telling you to be that long for emergency services and some type of satellite broadcasting and that type of thing. But the grid and the EMPs would be the biggest threat to the U.S., they are the biggest threat for the U.S., in my opinion, with the civil unrest and the cyber attacks. I think they'll probably be orchestrated. I don't know. Or like I said, if only 1% that crossed the border had bad intentions, and then if only 1% of those got away with anything because our intelligence and homeland security and everybody's so good at protecting us, then you still got a tremendous amount of events happening all throughout the United States. So just look at it when you just think of 150, and then you think of 1,500. And if you say it's going to happen between 1,500 and 150, those are a whole lot of events. And if it goes nationwide, then it's a whole lot of time and a whole lot of chaos with food supplies and water supplies. So let's prepare for that. Those are some of the biggest threats. I might have written some more down that I said. All this, the homeless and good people will panic, but there'll be supply chain issues, but No sound, no smoke, no casualties, no explosions. Just let them eat each other from the inside out. I think that's there's the plan, and that's what they have planned for us. I think that's the way they'll get us. I've been calling it cyber attacks for, I guess, now 2.5 years, but I think it's close enough to where people understand that it is an EMP, and it is an electromagnetic field that will shut down a lot of electricity, and our grid is very unstable in certain areas. So that is the biggest threat, and I do appreciate that. Violet, I believe, is her name. I hit a button all the time, and I go back to the very front. And now I'm on 28, so. Violet from Missouri. Yes, Violet, I would tell you that it's the grid, and it's the chaos that ensues after a day, after 3 days, after a week, after losing confidence, not knowing, giving rumors, false reports, all different types of chaos. When people they feed on that, and it's a lot of times orchestrated for these. You can almost say the law of large numbers. This is what this percentage of people will do in this situation. That is psychology, 301. So you can see the mentally conditioned that they would be doing during that time with propaganda and certainly gossip and running stories to be just running wild. If you didn't know and you're used to being connected, you're addicted to being connected and knowing and going anywhere you want. And now you just don't know. Easily to be deceived. Easily. And my Lord says in Matthew, even the saints, if they don't know the Word of God, He can come to them like a thief in the night. But we're children of the light right here at the Phee Smee Network. We're children of the light. We're just going to continue to tell them what the Word says. And the biggest threat we've got will be the grid, and then it'll be all the food, money, and water supplies, chaos, people turning against people, and the masses. And that's the plan, is for us to kill ourselves from within before they ever fire a single weapon. So there you go, Violet from Missouri. There's Phee Smee. I would take that to heart, and thank you for the question. As we finish tonight, talking about checkmate. We don't want to be in checkmate. We don't want to get down the road so far that we can't get out, that the game's already over. You can't win a whole lot of games in the first quarter, but you sure can lose a lot of them. So you win normally a little further in the game, whether it's spurts, runs, turnovers, momentum. There's something. But you're not going to win if you go out there and go 4 for 4 right off the bat and you lead 12-2. That doesn't guarantee you anything, except that was a real good, nice shooting performance so far in the game. So normally the game, as it's coming down to the wire, that's when the superstars come out. They come out to play at that point. And right now, you're going to find that this is the time to prepare. Let's go through some training camp. Let's get ready. Let's work on some plays. Let's get let's get all up to speed. Remember, we got to practice at game speed when it matters, when the game starts. So right now, we're learning new drills. So 5 keys to being a good coach: you got to be a good teacher. You got to be a good communicator. You got to be a good motivator. You got to instill confidence in your players, and you got to practice at game speed. That's what we're doing here at the Phee Smee Network. Let's work it out, because what is the biggest threat you got? That you're going to wake up one day, sometime in the future, tomorrow, 6 months, a year, 5 years. It's not about the time, folks. It's about preparing as if he's coming, because I've seen him coming. He's coming. But he's not coming until these prophecies are fulfilled. And we're going to win. And we're going to be raptured right out here, right out before the Battle of Armageddon. We're going to endure to the end. Not almost the end, but we're going to endure to the end. And the way we do that is start playing early. Start being consistent. Start having momentum go our way. And start preparing to make our moves and make our plays. And that's what we've got to do. And that's what training camp's for. And that's what preseason's for. And that's where we are right now. So gear up, get happy, tell some folks, let's get up. Let's make this a happy day. Let's turn this Word of God into an absolute phenomenal way to live your life. That's what it's all about. And I'm here to tell you, my Lord's got a way of bringing folks back to Him, and He's fixing to bring them back, because this world's getting so rough. So rough. Unbelievable how it said that right there in the Scriptures that love will grow cold because of lawlessness. Knowledge will increase. And that's AI, folks. Never before they've been able to tell you. Alien invasion. Whew. You got to be 60 to think that was funny, see, when you're watching Star Wars. Now they're actually going to try to make that happen. Fool the masses. There's one way to go. But I got a feeling the old conventional way is just war. And when they kill a third of mankind in the Sixth Trumpet War, somebody will come to peace. They'll come on the platform of peace, and they'll do great things. And they'll give you a lot to live this way and to take that mark. And when he stands in that temple 3.5 years in and declares himself as God, and the false prophet rains fire down, and they have already set this system up that you have participated in for 3.5 years with nothing but great things, bliss, wonderful times. This is it. Trust, belief, wonder, excitement. Bam. And you got 3.5 years of real struggle if you're a child of God. If you're a saint, if you're one of the elect, persecution, death. But the greatest evangelistic movement in the world and the greatest place to live is the United States of America, because we win. We stand with the eagle, and we win. And I'm thankful for our National Guard. I'm thankful for our president, and I'm thankful for my family, my friends, and for you guys. And let's get the message out and have a good time. And remember, no matter what you're doing, you're missing something. So let's make what we're missing what we're doing. Night, night.